Hey guys, so I didn't make an intro for this video, so we're just gonna jump right on in. I already did my eyebrows and one eye off camera. I'm starting with this NYX Avant Pop palette, and I'm taking this like peachy pinkish shade and I'm applying it to my crease as a transition shade. This step ended up being kind of unnecessary because you can't even really see the color anyway. It wasn't very pigmented, so yeah. Now I'm taking this NYX single eyeshadow in the shade STFU, which I think is so funny. Like, who names a shadow that? Anyway, I'm just applying this now kind of as my transition shade with the same Morphe MB23 brush. And I'm just buffing that out into the crease and making it all blended. Now I'm taking this BH Cosmetics massive eyeshadow palette and I'm taking this shimmery yellow shade and I'm just applying that with the Sonia Kashuk brush right in the crease, just to add a little bit more dimension and brighten up that yellow. Today we're going to be doing a halo eye, if you didn't notice. So the goal is to apply the colors to the inner and outer corner and then leave the center bare, because that's where we're going to be having a pop of color later. Now I'm going in that same BH Cosmetics palette and I'm adding this kind of minty-ish blue shade just to the inner and outer corner and blending it through the crease. One thing I'll say about this palette is it's okay. It's my first ever like BH Cosmetics palette that I've used. I actually picked it up at TJ Maxx because it was really inexpensive, but the pigmentation and the quality of the shadows are very questionable. Like, there's no consistency to it. Some shades I really like, other ones kind of suck. So I just applied another blue shade that was a little bit darker. Also happened to get it on my face because I'm just a mess. That's why I always apply my eyes before I do my foundation, because I end up somehow managing to get it everywhere. Now I'm going in with the Urban Decay Electric palette, aka one of my favorite palettes ever. And I'm taking the shade Fringe, and it's like this kind of deep teal color. It has a little bit of sparkle to it. I sprayed my brush with Fix Plus because since this is a shimmery shade, that just kind of helped intensify the color. And like I said earlier, just applying this to the inner and outer corner, kind of packing on color and then going back and blending it out with a fluffier brush to really help kind of keep everything blended and diffused. So here I'm just going in with that yellow and that minty shade again to just help diffuse those edges so they don't look super harsh. Because harsh isn't cute. Next, I am going in with the shade Gonzo, which is such a cute name, and it's just a little bit of a more kind of blue, true blue kind of color, and I'm just applying that again, packing it on the inner and outer corner, and then slowly dragging it through the crease, blending it out, packing a little bit more on. This process is very back and forth. It's just blending is key, people. And here I tried to wipe that off my face and I just ended up making it worse, so you know, whatever. Next I'm taking the shade Chaos, and this is probably one of my favorite shade in the palette. It's such a pigmented, beautiful blue. This palette is awesome. If you don't have it, I definitely recommend picking it up. I think I read somewhere that they're discontinuing it, which makes me so sad because this is my favorite colorful palette that I own. It's so nice. Next I'm going in with this shade Thrash, and this is going to be our pop of green in the center of the lid. This is going to make that halo eye, and I did wet my brush with a little Fix Plus because this is shimmery as well, so this is just going to help it stand out more. And I'm just kind of applying this haphazardly to the center of my lid and then kind of going in and blending out those edges so it doesn't look so harsh and just like stamped on. But then I ended up going back and brightening it again because it wasn't as intense as I wanted. And then I went in that NYX Avant Pop palette and I'm taking this white kind of shimmery shade and I'm just applying this to my brow bone to help kind of blend out those blue colors because I felt like I brought them too far up, too close to my brow bone. And next I'm just taking this yellow shade that I used earlier, and I'm applying this to the inner corner to just kind of help give a brightening effect and then add like a fun kind of pop of color. I just thought it made it look a little bit more unique. Now I'm taking my Better Than Sex mascara and applying that to my top lashes. I also did my liner off camera using the Kat Von D Tattoo Trooper liner. Next, I'm taking these Kiss foaming lashes in the style Midnight, and then I'm just going into the face, and I'm using my Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. This is so good, and I'm just applying it all over my face. It creates such a nice, like, soft finish under your foundation. I love it so much. And next, I'm taking the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation, and I'm going to start dotting that all over my face. This foundation is really nice. It's definitely very thick, like a very thick formula, but it doesn't feel very drying on the skin. It's like a medium. You can get it to full coverage when you really build it up. I will say I don't like how it applies with a brush. I usually always apply foundations with a brush, but this one just looks kind of streaky and weird. So you see, I decided to go in with my Real Technique sponge and just kind of blend that out the rest of the way and kind of just help smooth everything out. And the sponge is damp, by the way. Next, I'm just gonna go in and apply my Tarte Shape Tape in Fair, and I'm just applying this in all the places that I would normally highlight my face. So that is my under eyes and my forehead and my nose and my chin and a little bit above my Cupid's bow, just to kind of help brighten. It's also going to make me look very pasty, but bear with me, guys. We're going to fix it here in a second. I'm going to be going in next to set that with my Cover FX Loose Translucent Powder. And I'm just using this big old fluffy face brush from the Vintage Cosmetics Company. Such a nice brush. This is also such a nice powder. It just kind of gives the face a very nice soft look to it. It doesn't look super powdery or cakey. I'm going to go in with the same powder and just set my under eyes real quick to make sure that they don't crease throughout the day. Next, I'm just taking this bronzer from Wet n Wild and Reserve Your Cabana, and this does not look like a bronzer. It looks like a face powder, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with it. I saw Jordy, It's Likely Makeup, do this in her recent videos, and she was just raving about how good it looks all over the face, and so I had to try it, and she's 100% right. It just gives your face the nicest like sheen and glow. It looks so beautiful. If you are pale, definitely recommend trying it out. Next, I'm taking the Tarte Pro Glow palette to go, and I'm using the chisel shade to just contour my cheekbones and a little bit on my forehead so I look less like a potato. This little palette is really nice. It kind of makes me want to buy the full-size one, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to commit yet. I'm just going to blend that out then with a little bit of a fluffier brush. And now I'm going to go up and warm my face up so I look less pale. And I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Light. This is a really nice bronzer, you guys. You already know. And now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit, and I'm going in with the shade Lucky Clover, and it's really pretty. It looks kind of like white, but it has a green shift to it when the light hits it. It's so pretty, and I thought it went really well with this eye look. I will say this palette is a little bit, I feel like the formula of this particular glow kit is different from the other glow kits I have. This one is a little bit harder to work with. They don't feel as like silky and smooth as the other ones. It's still really nice, and I don't regret getting it, but I will say it takes a little bit more work. I had to spray my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus to kind of get the intensity that I was looking for. And then I'm just going in with a little bit of blush. I'm using this Tarte Mini Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Royal, and then I went over it in the shade Genius because Royal was just a little bit too nude for me, and I wanted a little bit more of a color, like pinky color, so I went over with those. These blushes are really nice. They last a long time, and they're just so tiny and cute. I love them. And then I'm just gonna go in and clean up that contour because it just looked a little bit too wild for me. This is a really easy trick that I talked about in my full face foundation routine video. Super easy. Next I'm going in the electric palette and I'm just applying the same shades that we used earlier on our eyelids to the lower lash line to really just kind of smoke it out. I went in with Fringe and Chaos, focusing Chaos in the outer corner, and then I'm just kind of using a fluffier side to smoke those out. Next step is going in with Lucky Clover again, and I'm just applying this to the inner corner to kind of really brighten that inner corner. I know I put the yellow there, but this really just kind of gave it a really cool effect. Can I say it kind of really, how many times can I say that? But for real, it just kind of made the yellow pop more, and it just looks really cool. Now I'm going in with the Tarte lip paint, glossy lip paint in the shade Goals, and I'm just applying this to my lips. No lip liner today. I really love this lip gloss. It's super full cover, like super thick and opaque, and it's not sticky. They last on the lips really nicely, and I definitely want to get some more. And they smell good too. And the final step for this look is going in with a little bit of Max Fix Plus to kind of just give us a nice dewy look. And that is it for this look today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other videos you want to see from me in the near future. Alright, bye!